I was casually lounging around the house and I'm processing some time lapse that I had shot over the weekend. And I thought I'd had a bit more time before my moonset shoot tonight. Then I got the idea that the path of the moon setting and the path of the setting sun aren't very far apart. So if I went a little bit early, I could also shoot the sun setting behind tonight's target. So I rushed out of the house with 55 minutes till the sun would line up. All right. And we're off. The spot's about 15 minutes away from my house, and right now I'm driving. I'm only a couple minutes away. I have 30 minutes left to set up 2 cameras and plan this. Actually, I have to plan the exact location. I have a rough idea of where I need to be for the sunset, but I just gotta spend a minute or two on Planet Pro for photographers and figure out my exact spot. I'm gonna finish driving and do a little bit of planning and set up some cameras. If you happen to watch the last episode of Moon Missions, episode 7, you'd know that I really struggled to capture the full moon rising behind the SeaWorld Sky Tower. That was about a week and a half ago, and it's really been bothering me that I didn't get the shot, so I'm back here tonight to try to shoot the crescent moon setting behind. I'm actually to the east of the tower as opposed to last time I was to the west of the tower trying to shoot the moon rising. Tonight I'm going to try to shoot the moon setting behind it. And I actually got here a little bit early, and I'm going to try to get the sun setting behind it first, and then after that maybe even try to get Saturn and Jupiter setting behind the tower as well. The lights have been on pretty much ever since my last time trying to shoot the full moon on the 1st, so I'm not too worried about the lights turning on tonight. I'm 100% sure they're going to be on. It's closer to Christmas, so that's not a problem. I'm here at Fiesta Island in Mission Bay, California. It's nice and clear out, and I got about 10 minutes till the sun lines up with the tower, so I got to hurry up and finish setting up some shots. My go-to app for these type of alignment shots is always the Planet Pro for Photographers app. I'll leave a link down in the description. It's about $10 in the iOS store. I highly recommend it. It's definitely worth the money and will make your life a lot easier when trying to get shots like this. Opening the app, I'm gonna cruise on over to the SeaWorld Sky Tower. As you can see, I already have a marker set up for the Sky Tower, and I'm not going to cover that in this video, but I'll definitely be making a tutorial in the future on how I go about planning these shoots and how I set up the markers and all that. So I'm going to drop my subject pin, then head over to Fiesta Island, and as you can see, it's a really nice open beach to the north and to the south, so I have plenty of places to move freely and really plan my shots for the sun, the moon, and the planets Jupiter and Saturn. Next, I'm going to drop my observer pin where my camera is going to be for the sun shot, and you'll see that the sun will line up with the top of the Sky Tower just after 4:09 p.m. About an hour and a half after the sun sets, the moon will line up with the Sky Tower. You can see here with the blue line that the moon actually sets a little bit further to the south, so I'm gonna have to move my camera. You can see that I'm dropping and dragging the observer pin a little bit further north, and the moon should align with the Sky Tower just how I want it around 6:24 p.m. Next up, we have the planets Jupiter and Saturn. They'll be setting about 20 minutes later, and I'm gonna have to move that observer pin quite a bit to the south. I actually planned the planets to go just to the right of the tower so they don't get lost in all the lights hanging from it. which is a little different than what I had planned, from the sun sitting right on top of the tower and then the moon a little bit lower on top of the observation deck. The sun's about to line up. I got my cameras ready, they're time-lapsing. Got the A7III with the Sigma 150-600 and a Canon 2X teleconverter on it. I'm only shooting at about 1,000 millimeters right now because, as you can see, SeaWorld's just right there on the other side of the water. It's got to be like a mile or less away. It's pretty close. I normally don't like to shoot this close, but this location's just too good here at Fiesta Island. There's just wide open beach and it's easy to line stuff up. That's why I chose this spot today. Over here I have the Sony A7S Mark I with the Canon 70-200, shooting at about 135 millimeters, it looks like. The sun's just entering frame on this one. It's kind of hard to see. And this one has another minute till the sun gets into frame. Top of the tower. Alright, I repositioned for moonset, and I just set up a day to night time lapse just for fun. Looks like the tower lights are already on. I knew they would come on. It's so close to Christmas, they're just on every night now, whether SeaWorld's open or not. It's a beautiful night here in San Diego. It's about 68 degrees and really clear. A little bit of clouds to the west, but they're pretty thin and it's really not supposed to get any thicker. There is some nice clouds happening out here to the east. To the east and to the north. Look at the sunset, it's pretty cool. I wanted to jump out and just talk about the moon a little bit. I did some planning in Planet Pro for photographers, and it looks like the moon will line up with the SeaWorld Sky Tower of Lights at 6:24 p.m. tonight, which is 37 minutes before it sets below the horizon. It's a 7.8% waxing crescent moon, so it's going to be beautiful. Such a beautiful scene right now. I got about 10 minutes till the moon lines up with the SeaWorld Sky Tower of Lights. I can see right now the moon's about to go right through in a couple minutes. I also did a little bit of planning, and as soon as the moon goes through the tower at 6:24, 6:25 tonight, I'm gonna have to just grab the cameras real quick and throw them in the front seat on the tripods and drive about a quarter mile south of here so that I can get the planet Jupiter and Saturn also setting through the sky tower about 10-15 minutes later. So I think the planets will line up the sky tower at 6:42 p.m. It should be a little bit tight on time, but I think I can do it. Just about to line up shortly. It's going right through the tower exactly how I planned. I'm so happy with my shot right now. Look at that. It's lined up perfectly how I planned it. Just how I wanted it, sitting on top of the sky tower. So epic. The moon alignment. It couldn't have went any better. I'm so happy with those shots. I jumped in my car and I hauled ass down here and got both cameras set up, and I'm just minutes away from Jupiter and Saturn lining up with the tower. I can see it right now. It's gonna look epic. I gotta get back out there right now and just keep an eye on my shots. You can see Saturn and Jupiter in the right of the frame. Purposely put it off to the side just a little bit, just so you wouldn't get lost in the lights of the sky tower, and it'll give you a little bit better of a chance to see the moons of Jupiter and maybe even a moon or two of Saturn in frame. I'm happy with this shot. Wow, wow, wow. I am so stoked right now. I can't even believe what I was able to accomplish tonight in such a short amount of time. I have actually lined up 2 targets before in the same night, the sun and the moon setting behind the old Point Loma lighthouse about a year ago, but never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that I would be able to pull off 3 targets in the same night, especially in such a short amount of time. I didn't even have this idea until about an hour before the sun lined up, and as soon as I thought of it, I grabbed my camera, jumped in the car, and it was just go time. I drove to the spot, I set up the cameras, and while my cameras were time-lapsing the sun setting behind the sky tower, I was on my phone in Planet Pro for photographers, and I was planning the next shoot. And then while the moon was setting behind, I was planning the shots of Saturn and Jupiter setting right next to the tower, and I just couldn't be any happier right now than with what I was able to get tonight. The first shot of the sun going through the top of the sky tower was just awesome. So cool to capture that. The shot I really wanted to get and that I had planned on getting tonight all along was the crescent moon sitting right on top of the sky tower, and I couldn't be happier with how that looks. That just looks so amazing to me, and I'm really, really happy with how that one came out. The third shot of Saturn and Jupiter setting to the right is just perfect. It's just the icing on the cake for me. Like I said, I'm just so stoked I was able to pull it off, especially in such a short time. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you have any questions, leave them below in the comments. Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and click the bell to stay up to date and be notified when I upload videos in the future. Thanks for watching.